Hi guys, welcome UNCA class of 2024 and parents of our brand new Bulldogs. My name is Sarah and I'm an admission counselor here at UNCA. So today we're here to talk about our EmBark Orientation. So we're gonna start getting you guys excited about and ready for the best 4 years of your life. Before we do that and hear from our Office of Transition and Parent Programs, are just a couple housekeeping things that I want to run by you guys. Number one, if you have not already done so, please submit your enrollment deposit as soon as you're ready to commit to UNC Asheville and start getting ready for the fall. If you have questions or concerns about your deposit, feel free to reach out to your admission counselor. That's part of why we're here. But submitting your deposit will open the gateway for next steps. So getting ready to register for orientation, applying for housing, course preferences, all of those sorts of things. And the sooner you submit your deposit, the sooner you can start getting excited about the fall. Speaking of, also when you submit your deposit, start getting in the habit of checking your UNCA email. If you have questions about how to get that set up and get access to it, feel free to reach out to your counselor about that as well. Number two, make sure that you use the Q&A box for questions that you want the panel to address today. Part of the point of orientation is to get you connected to your classmates, so feel free to use the chat box to do that, but any questions that you have for the panel, make sure you put those in the Q&A so we can see them. And then the last thing that I want to go over before we get started, I know that everybody, myself included, probably has a lot of questions about the coronavirus and the situation that it's created. And as that continues to evolve, we're monitoring the situation, but we will have a Q&A with Chancellor Cable and the senior leadership team on May 20th. So any questions that you guys have today and kind of in the next couple weeks about that, that team will probably be able to answer those questions much better than we may be able to. So make sure you register for that. You can do that the same way you registered for this Q&A. And without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Sarah Smith in the Office of Transition and Parent Programs.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Smith, and I am the Interim Director for the Office of Transition and Parent Programs. So I am in charge of EmBark Orientation, our pre-rendezvous extended orientation program, which is a program I will talk about briefly here and answer any questions you may have about. It's an optional program that our incoming first year and transfer students can participate in. And then I'm also in charge of Family Weekend and just helping to create programs for all of our students to be able to transition throughout their time here at UNC Asheville. I've been here for about 2 years, and I'm really excited to get to know you all through our EmBark Orientation program and to be able to see you all on campus at some point in time, and to see you all go through your 4 years on campus. You are going to have a wonderful experience at UNC Asheville, and I'm excited that I get to be there at the start of this experience for you. I'm going to share my screen. I have just a PowerPoint slide with some of our dates and important information that I want to make sure you all have plenty of time to access and answer questions on. Let me do that now. All right, so EmBark is a required component for all of our incoming first year and transfer students. So we will be seeing you all this summer to help you prepare for your time on campus at UNC Asheville. Because of COVID-19 and some adjustments we've had to make, we are breaking up our EmBark orientation program into 2 different components that all of our students will participate in. The first part is a virtual program that will be taking place in June. So I'll go over that in a little bit more detail. And then once you are on campus, you'll participate in an in-person EmBark session that will allow us to dive in a little bit deeper into some of the topics that we've covered in June, but then to also expand and once you're on campus, really help you to get your footing and feel prepared for the start of your 4 years on campus. So for our transfer students, our first virtual EmBark session It is a one-day virtual session that will take place on Friday, June the 12th. And then for our incoming first-year students, we have 4 options that you can choose to pick from. That first session is Monday and Tuesday, June 15th and 16th. The second session is Thursday and Friday, June 18th and 19th. The third session is Monday and Tuesday, June 22nd and 23rd. And then the fourth and last session that we'll have is Thursday and Friday, the 25th and 26th. So when you're registering for our EmBark program, if you've not already done so, please make sure that you are available for both days because we will have content over those 2 days. The sessions will begin around 10 a.m. on both of those days, and then they will end by 5 on that first day, and then probably by no later than 5 on the second day. The first day of our EmBark session will be a lot of synchronous time for you to get to know some of your classmates. We will have 13 orientation leaders that are upperclassmen students that are excited to welcome you to campus and be a mentor for you and helping you get settled, answer any questions you might have, and talk about what it's like to be a student on campus. So we'll have time in those sessions for you to get to build connections with other students. We'll get to introduce you to some of our other campus partners in housing and residential education, dining, campus recreation, Highsmith Student Union and student organizations, health and counseling center, you name it. You'll be able to hear from lots of our campus partners. And then you'll also get to spend time talking to a faculty advisor and an advisor in the Office of Academic Success, who will talk to you about how to access your schedule, because the second day of orientation, you'll be spent registering and completing your class schedule for the fall semester. So we will have some you are filling out a course preference form, and that course preference form is going to help some of our faculty and staff members register you for a part of your class schedule for the fall semester, but then you'll have the ability to fill in that class schedule with classes that you want to take, your first year seminar class that you're interested in taking, and some of the other components that are required for your first year here on campus. And then the second, with registering for that, you'll also be able to have some one-on-one time with a faculty advisor. They can check your schedule, make sure that you don't have any conflicts, that you are taking the classes in the right order. They can answer any questions that you might have or give you advice if you're struggling to figure out what other classes to be taking. But we want to make sure that you have that individual connection before we release you out to be able to register for classes too. And then on that second day, we'll also have some of our orientation leaders and again, some of our campus partners leading question and answer sessions similar to what you all have been able to participate here, the admissions is doing, but some more in-depth and in-person information sessions on what it's like to be a student at UNC Asheville and some of the things you can expect and ways to get involved. And then for our transfer students, all of that will be kind of compacted into one day. We will make sure that we leave plenty of time for you all to take breaks and get some time to step away and stretch. We're not going to keep you in front of a computer screen from 10 until 5 every day, but we want to make sure that we have as many synchronous sessions as possible so that you are able to meet with other students, get to know people, and walk away from your June session feeling like you have a good idea of what you can expect and that you know that our student and staff members care about you and are trying our best to set you up for success once you're able to arrive on campus. The second part of our EmBark orientation will take place in August. As we get more guidance from the university and the UNC system about what our fall semester is going to look like, those dates may shift and change as needed, but right now it's scheduled for that weekend that you'll be moving in, which is Friday, August 14th through Sunday, August the 16th. And we'll be together as an entire class safely and social distancing as we need to, but we will make sure that we, like I said, are diving deeper into what it's like to be a student on campus, giving you an opportunity to be on campus, explore where your classes are going to take place, get to know more faculty and campus resources, and give you time to really feel prepared for that start of the semester. For our parents, we're not going to have a synchronous session that's going to take place when the students are having orientation sessions. Our plan is to do similar webinars like the admissions has been doing and space them out throughout the entire summer, both in June and July, and try to pick different times and dates, maybe doing some later at night, or even on the weekend if necessary, to give parents an opportunity to be able to log in, meet with other parents, and again, learn how we can support your student as they're here and get them excited for the next 4 years. If you're not able to make those webinars, or that we are going to post them on our website, so you'll be able to refer back to them at any point in time. If you have any questions about that, or as information changes, or if you just want to make sure that you have all the information about EmBark, I am continuing to update our website at transition.unca.edu. We have links specifically for EmBark, for Pre-Rendezvous, and some of the other programs that we have taking place on campus. I guess we can open it up for questions.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about the webinars for parents, but there's a question about whether or not parents need to be available for the students' virtual orientation sessions, even though there are sessions designated specifically for parents.
Right. So those 2 days, those are specifically for the students. So parents don't need to be available for any of those sessions. Those are geared specifically toward our students and information that the students need to know.
Sorry, I couldn't find my buttons.
That's okay.
So you mentioned, you talked a little bit about the course preference form and then registration for the different sessions. Can you talk a little bit specifically about how a student, once they've deposited, can go through the process of doing their pre-course preference kind of registration and then also the registration for a session?
Yes, absolutely. So once you make that deposit, then you'll start getting emails, like Sarah mentioned, to your UNC Asheville email address. One of those emails that's coming in is called a course preference form. So that's something that's sent by our Office of Academic, the Center for Academic Success, and the advising office. So you will fill that out. List your interested major, your intended major, and then some of the classes that you're interested in, if you like, I think, times of classes that you feel like you're going to be successful in, things like that. They will pull all that information and take your interested or intended major and start to put you into some of those first like core classes that you need to take for your major. And then once you get that, then they'll put together all of that, and then you'll be able to access that when you're here when you're here for EmBark. We will show you how to go into our OnePort, which is the portal you'll be using as you're a student, to find your schedule, and then walk you through how you'll finish registering for all of your classes using something that we call Schedule Planner. So make sure that you are completing that, and you need to make sure that you complete that before the beginning of June, or as close to June 1st as you can, to ensure that your schedule will be built for EmBark when you arrive. And then for registering for orientation, you should also be getting emails to both your UNC Asheville email, and we're also sending it to your personal email that you've listed as a part of your application, reminding you to sign up for EmBark Orientation. If you haven't gotten that in your inbox, maybe check your spam just in case. Sometimes it gets lost there. If you haven't found that, we also have the links to register on our website at transition.unca.edu. On that homepage, there's two different links, one to register for Transfer EmBark and one to register for the first year session. So that will take you, once you click there, if you're a first year student, you'll get to pick which session you would like to attend. I know that our first year, or our first session on the 15th and 16th, that is close to filling up. We cap our sessions at about 200 students per session, so that it's not too big and that you feel like you get to know people on a more personal basis. So I know that that first session is getting close to filling up. So if that's the session that works best for you, I would recommend signing up for that as soon as possible. And then once you register for EmBark, you'll get a confirmation email, and then as it gets closer in the next couple of weeks, we'll be sending you more reminders. We'll be sending you a link to the Zoom webinar site that you'll be needing to go to, and any other additional forms or links that you'll need to have. We'll get you prepared for that, and then we'll also send you a schedule for what the days are looking like.
Great, thank you. Just one thing that I will add for students and parents, those emails, as she mentioned, are being sent for EmBark registration and for the course preference form. Those are being sent to the email that you used when you submitted your application and your UNC Asheville email. And if you have questions about whether or not those things have been completed, you can reach out to your admission counselor and we can tell you whether or not you've done them. And help kind of figure out where to maybe find those things if you haven't received them in your inbox. Can a student alter their course preference form after it's been submitted?
Yes, I believe that you can. I would recommend reaching out to the Academic Success Center. You can email them at academicsuccesscenter@unca.edu and tell them that you need to amend your course preference form. And then also when you're registering for classes, if maybe for some reason you've changed your major or you've decided after thinking about what you wanted to major in, if you wanted to be an engineering major and you've decided that you would rather be a science major, biology or chemistry or something, you can work with that faculty member in your advising session and they can help guide you into maybe what classes you don't need to be in anymore and what classes you should switch and things like that, so that you can get a schedule that you feel comfortable with for the fall. Thank you.
You talked a little bit about pre-rendezvous. Will you expound a little bit more on that, and is it open for everyone?
Sure. So in pre-rendezvous is an optional program we encourage students to participate in. We do cap it, so it's a little bit smaller. It's a smaller group. We have 9 different programs that will be taking place this summer. 7 of those programs we call urban programs. They're run through our office, but they are focused around different subjects, but they allow students to get involved in both campus and also in the UNC Asheville community. So those subjects range from community service, social justice, if you're interested in English and writing, to literature, music, art, sustainable living, wellness. Those are our 7 programs. And then we work closely with our campus recreation office, and they lead 2 outdoor programs. One is called a Blue Ridge Experience. And in that you'll be going and staying in a cabin, and then you'll go out each day and do different activities like mountain biking, kayaking, climbing, and then there's also the wilderness experience where you'll be going out and backpacking for those days. So the program runs from August the 9th through August the 13th. So it's Sunday through Thursday. And that all right now is still, we are planning on going forward with that until we get more information about what the beginning of the school year looks like. But you'll move in, you'll have more time to get settled onto campus. Again, you'll get to meet you'll have the opportunity to get to know students that are interested in a specific subject or topic that you may be interested in. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're interested in majoring in. If you were in band in high school or enjoy playing the piano or the guitar and you want to be able to get to know some of the music faculty on campus, if you're interested in maybe joining an ensemble as a way to just get involved on campus, but then also want to be able to explore the music scene around Asheville, you can join our All That Jazz program. Or if you are interested in the outdoors, you can join any one of our Wilderness or the Blue Ridge program too. So there's an additional cost for that. For our urban programs, the price right now is $350. For our outdoor programs, it's $375. And then that cost will go up at the beginning of July. So with that, that covers all of the expenses for the activities that you'll be participating in, food, things like that. But like I said, you'll get the opportunity to move in and get some more time to get settled before the rest of the first year class moves in. And again, you'll get to know people on a more intimate basis. There's only about 14 students in their groups. There's usually 12 students and then 2 leaders with each group that are upperclassmen students. A lot of them have participated in Pre-Rendezvous before and had a wonderful experience and then want to serve as a leader for that. Registration opened last Friday, so on May the 1st. So it is open and available. Again, it's on our website, transition.unca.edu. We have a tab specifically for Pre-Rendezvous, so if you're interested in checking out more about what each of the programs includes or what the different topics are offered, you can do that, and then you can also register from there. So it will take you to a special portal where you will be able to, we'll need your UNC Asheville email address. So you'll create a profile through there and register through that, and then submit all the information that you need to through that portal. So, and then that is also available for you to use if you decide to go on any other campus rec program. They know they do different ski shuttles during the winter. If you want to go on a hiking trip with them or go whitewater rafting, that profile that you're creating, that's then there and available for you to do any other campus rec like program through that.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so in addition to some of the pre-rendezvous activities that have a cost associated with them, is there a cost associated with EmBark registration, and how does that get paid?
Sure. So all of our incoming students pay an orientation fee. So both incoming first year and transfer students. That is a $150 fee that is applied to your fall bill. So it's not something that you need to pay to be able to register. It will be seen and it's added onto that bill, and it's marked orientation fee. That is a non-refundable fee. So the Office of Transition and Parent Programs, and orientation itself is a fee-based activity. So we don't receive any additional funding from the UNC system or from the university to put on our EmBark Orientation program. So this is helping to staff our orientation programs for the technology that we'll be using throughout the summer for this, and then to help with our programming that will take place in the fall, and then also additional programming that takes place throughout the year. So that's what that $150 fee is. There's not an additional fee this year for parent EmBark, since we're not doing a synchronous program for parents. So those webinars are a part of just available for anybody. There's not a payment that's associated with that. So yeah, that's a required fee, and we are not able to refund that fee at all.
Okay, so during the synchronous sessions for students online, some of the activities that they're going to be doing, are those a surprise, or can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Sure. So we're still building out what our small group sessions are going to look like, but they will be interactive in a way that we can get the students to get to know each other and dive a little bit deeper than just, this is my name, this is my major, and this is where I'm coming from. We want to be able to get to know everybody a little bit differently, make them feel deeper and make them feel more comfortable with their group. So our orientation leaders will be going through training before the summer orientation sessions start to help facilitate those activities, and then also to do icebreakers, things like that. Other sessions that you'll be able to take place will be mostly question and answer formats. There may be some webinar, but we want to make them as interactive as possible to give you an opportunity to ask questions with our campus resources. Like I said, that those will be question and answers with housing and dining, the Office of Multicultural Life, campus recreation, student activities, health and counseling, and then we'll also be breaking you into smaller groups based on what your major is for a session to talk about what registration is going to look like, and then also how to access your schedule, and then also be able to meet a faculty member that you may be working closely with because of your major.
Are the course selections on a first come first served basis based on session orientation date, or how are registration access numbers assigned?
No, I believe that they are just assigned at random. I know that there's one day where the faculty and the staff that are building together those courses, they'll meet together and plan those courses and put people into the partially built schedules. And then I think from there, they'll get a registration access number that faculty advisor will give them based on when their session is, and then also like when their time is. But we're also we recognize that if you're only available to go to the 4th session, it's not fair that you're not able to register with that first session. So we'll make sure that we have tried to evenly like space out the classes and course and seats in those courses to allow students to be able to pick into different classes. And then also there's an opportunity, if you don't get into the class or the class time that you want to, you could put yourself on the wait list, or if a semi drops out of that, you can go back in and try to register for that spot. So, and you can work with an advisor to be able to make changes to your schedule after that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So if a transfer student has already registered for classes, is there anything else that they need to do before their June 12th orientation session?
Not right now. So we will be putting together an online course through Moodle, which is what our students will be using throughout their 4 years on campus. Their faculty will build a portal for each of their classes. We are doing that for incoming students too, to allow for some asynchronous information of things that we think are important for you to know, again, before coming onto campus, but don't want to spend a lot of time taking out of orientation and making that more of a webinar based where you're sitting and having to listen to something. We'll build all that out into a separate course and make that easy for you to access and look through. That will become available at the beginning of June for you to be able to access. But as long as you transfer students, once they fill out that course preference form, they are on a different track. So you should fill out that course preference form, and then you should get your registration access number so that you can go in and register for the classes that you need to. So our transfer students are able to register for classes on their own. During that time in EmBark, if you need to make changes to your schedule, or if you need to or want to speak with an advisor about what transferred, if something transferred from your previous institution, or if something looks different from your transcript that you thought, we will have open hours where faculty advisors and some of our advisors will be available for you to drop in and ask those questions. But there will be time for people that weren't able to register and need to go back in and make changes. They'll be able to do that during the transfer EmBark session.
Thank you. So back to first year students, freshmen, after they complete their course preference form and then have a chance to register for classes during the EmBark session, is there a specific advisor or person that they should be emailing with questions about their courses?
If they have questions now, I would recommend that they email our Office of our Academic Success Center. Those are our academic advisors that have a lot of general knowledge about different majors and can help either point them in the direction of a faculty advisor that would be able to help them, or they, like I said, just have a lot of knowledge about what classes are looking like. I know that each department, I believe, has a 4-year course of study or a plan. And I believe that can be found either on the department's websites or through the Academic Success Center. I'm seeing that in the chat of a sample schedule of courses for a major for 4 years. I know that a lot of our majors have that built out as it being a sample schedule. You can ask the Academic Success Center about that, and they can point you directly to what that looks like. But I know that a lot of our programs have built that out. If you are an engineering major, I know that there's a specific advisor for the engineering department, Linnea Lenton. She works really closely with our engineering majors because they have a very strict schedule and don't have a lot of wiggle room for a lot of different electives because of the 2x2 program that we work in tandem with NC State.
So you mentioned Moodle a little while ago. Is there anything that first year students need to do to like log in and complete something on Moodle prior to EmBark registration or during the summer?
Sure. So we'll also have an asynchronous component for our first year students to complete in Moodle too. We will send an email once that's active, but it will be similar to information that our transfer students will have available for them as well. So it's information that we know is important and we want you to be able to look at and have access to at any point in time, but that we don't want to get bogged down in a lot of that PowerPoint presentation during our actual EmBark session. So it will be information that will be helpful for you, and that will be available at the beginning of June before the orientation session. So we would ask you complete it before your orientation session, and we'll follow up. If we see that you haven't completed it, we'll follow up just to check in and see if you have any questions, if you're having trouble accessing Moodle. But I think it will also help you to get into the habit of checking Moodle and kind of getting to know what Moodle is, because a lot of your faculty members use that for supplemental courses or supplemental assignments that they need, and also to put their syllabus on their website.
How can a student find out who their advisor is?
That's a good question. I would recommend emailing the Academic Success Center. Your first year seminar instructor is your advisor for the first year. So whenever your first year seminar, which is in your schedule, it's this course that you'll be able to pick and choose from, because we have a lot of different topics that are available, but that person will serve as your advisor through the first year. And then from there, you will be moved to a faculty advisor in your interested major.
So then, apart from having an academic advisor, once they get to UNC Asheville, is there a person on campus that they can or should contact if they aren't sure like what path to take when registering for courses? Like if they wanted to double major or major and minor, would the academic advisor be the best resource for that? Or is there somebody else on campus that they can speak with?
I would go to the Academic Success Center and some of those general advisors that can give, they have a lot of knowledge about what majors maybe pair well together if you're thinking about double majoring in something. And they can also point you to maybe some faculty members that they know that would be able, if you have an interest in psychology, but you are interested in like abnormal psychology or something like that, they'll be able to have faculty members that can give you, that they can direct you, that would be able to maybe have a more specific interest in the topic within that major that you're interested in talking about. But I think starting with the Academic Success Center and those general advisors is the best way if you're not sure of who to talk to, or not sure what you're wanting to major in, or aren't sure what your classes should be looking like. The Academic Success Center is a huge help. I would also recommend the Career Center too, if you're interested or not sure of what you even want to major in. The Career Center is not just available for people to find a job. They help you to discover what you're interested in and what you're passionate about, and how you can take your interests and your passions and what you succeed in, maybe in classes, or what you do really well, and help you to find a career or find a major that can lead you to a career that you're interested in.
What tools or resources should a student use to guarantee an organized experience during their college career?
That's a good question. I think getting familiar with your UNC Asheville email account is really helpful. And then figuring out, I think it takes time to figure out how students are going to be successful in college, because college looks very different than high school. You'll be able to create your own schedule. You'll be able to, and you'll figure out when you're most productive. You may be most productive in the morning. You may be more productive in the afternoon. And it takes some time, I think, to figure out what that looks like. And it doesn't always mirror what your high school schedule looked like too. So I think explore, and during this first year, take classes at different times and to figure out when you feel like you get your best work done. Take advantage of any breaks you have in your schedule. Don't necessarily go back to your room and take a nap unless you are really tired. Go to the library and use that hour between your classes to study or get some homework done that you need to, or come to the student union and get work done. So the student union has a ton of space available for people to hang out. We have like individual workrooms that you can, like they're first come, first serve, that you can take advantage of. But I think it's making sure that you are flexible to how you're going to change and adapt. But, figure out how you need to maintain your assignments. That for some people, that's using the Google Calendar that's linked to their UNC Asheville email address and putting in reminders in your phone, or putting everything in as an event, or setting alarms for yourself. And then also, but yeah, it's just testing it out. Some people need to write everything down. I would get big sticky notes. I use these a lot and make to-do lists for myself. It's just figuring out what's going to be best for you. So I think that's my biggest advice, is to be flexible and to really reflect on when you're successful and how you're most successful, and be open to what you did in high school may not be what's going to help you set you up for success in these next 4 years. But reach out to myself in the Office of Transition and Parent Programs. I'm always more than happy to help students try to figure out how to get organized, how to set themselves up for success. We have a ton of different programming that will take place once you're on campus, called Wander to Ponder, that are a lot about how to organize yourself for your classes, how to study smarter instead of studying harder, and like different tips and tricks that you can take advantage of to help prepare yourself for success.
Great. One of the things that I would add to that too, just from personal experience, is your peers and your professors that are upperclassmen and that have seen a lot of different things in their time at UNC Asheville are going to be great resources for you. So ask them what they do and what works for them, and be willing to try different things and like make adaptations if stuff isn't working. And the sooner you can start trying different things after orientation and then in your first semester to see what works and what doesn't, that can help kind of maximize your success later on.
Yeah, absolutely. So our EmBark Orientation leaders are always willing to be that mentor for you, or that first initial student resource to give you that peer-to-peer experience. We'll be setting up ways for you to continue communication after your EmBark session, and they'll be reaching out to you periodically throughout the summer to make sure that you don't have any, to answer any questions you might have, or to make sure that you know that they're available for you. So feel free to reach out to them after EmBark and throughout your time there. So they are there to be a mentor and a resource and a leader for you, and they're excited about that opportunity.
Great. Okay, so if a student has already signed up for an EmBark session, can they switch their session dates? And if so, how?
Yes. If you can email our office at orient, ORIENT, at unca.edu. I can put that in the chat down here. But email us about what session you had signed up for and what session you need to sign up for, and we'll make that change for you. It is important to remember, thank you, Sarah, to make sure that you are available for both of those days, because that helps us to be able to track who has attended orientation and who hasn't. So unfortunately, if you can make the first day of the first session June 15th, but then you can't come to another day 2 session till June 23rd, you're not going to be able to do that. You need to find a session where both days work for you.
Thank you. What if a student cannot attend any of the orientation sessions?
If you aren't able to make any of the orientation sessions, again, email me and we'll work with you to find a different alternative. But you know, we'll also have the in-person sessions that all of our students will participate in, and we'll make sure that we can get you connected at those asynchronous sessions and pair you up with an orientation leader. But email us and we will work with you.
Is there a parent portal that's going to be set up where parents can get access to information and keep in touch, or how will your office communicate with those webinars and then keep them kind of in touch moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't have a specific parent portal. Everything will be listed on our website, transition.unca.edu. Today, after this session, I will upload a Google form that we typically ask, with information that we ask parents to complete during orientation. And then from there, we'll ask for an email address. And so once you fill out that form, we'll be emailing you with reminders about the webinars and to sign up for those. Also, we have a Facebook page, a UNC Asheville Parents and Family Facebook page. If you haven't joined that, feel free to do so. It is a private group specifically for our parents and family members of our students. Myself and our Dean of Students, Jackie McGarg, we are the administrators for it. So you'll need to request to join that and then list who your student is. If they're an incoming first year student, it's helped to put that they're in the class of 2024. And then we'll approve you. And then from there, you can engage and interact with our parents. And I'll be putting in reminders about things coming up for EmBark in that as well. So it's a great resource. Our parents really enjoy and appreciate being able to speak with other parents and ask for that kind of advice of what it's like to be a parent for a college student at UNC Asheville. And then we list campus reminders and announcements in that too.
Thank you. One more note for parents: if you weren't able to join us last night for our parent-to-parent webinar, that should be available on the admission website pretty soon. So you'll have a chance to hear from parents and some alum just to kind of talk about their students' transitions to UNC Asheville and what their experience has been. But there's the Facebook page for transition and parent programs. There's the UNC Asheville Parents and Families Facebook page, and then there will be that webinar as well. So lots of resources for parents that are nervous about college and their students coming to UNC Asheville, but it's a great community, and any of those places are good resources for you guys. Great support systems too. Where can a student find the Ferpa forms that they need in order to make sure all of their information is secure? Do you know that?
Sure. I know that there are instructions on the registrar's website about how to complete those Ferpa forms for both, I think, their access and then to allow authorized users on that. So that's registrar@unca.edu.
Thank you. Well, I think that's about all of the questions that we have. There's one more. Do we know, just with scheduling, is there going to be a family weekend? Is that still kind of up in the air just with everything that's happened?
Sure. So we currently have the date. We have a date that's the last weekend in September. I believe it's the September 25th through the 27th. But with unknown conditions and what Asheville is going to look like and what campus is going to look like, we are hoping that that will be able to take place, and we will communicate if that date needs to change or adjust in any way. So, but we try to make sure that when we are doing our family weekend, that we build in opportunities to allow our families to engage with the Asheville community and on campus too. So we want to make sure that you can capitalize on both of those resources in planning a family weekend. So as we kind of get through and see what these next couple of weeks and what June looks like, if we need to make changes to that, we'll be in communication. But we hope to get our families onto campus for a family weekend as soon as we possibly can, because we're missing having people here, and we know that you all want to be on campus too.
Well, there's one more question in the chat, and I will answer that. If you want to get in touch with your admission counselor, they can walk you through trying to get into your email, and then they'll help work with you. So you should have lots of emails from your admission counselor, so figure out who that is, and then just reach out to us, and we're happy to help get you into your email or figure out how to get you back in if we can't. I personally am a bit of a technophobe, and so sometimes I need to get IT to help us, but they're great to do that. And so just reach out to us and we'll get you moving forward. That's all the questions that we have for you, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us. She talked a lot about the Academic Success Center, which is a huge resource for our students. That webinar will be next week. You can register for that the same way that you registered for this one. And also just, you know, in kind of response to the questions about family weekend and COVID and everything that's happened, just a reminder that the senior leadership webinar is going to be on May 20th. So please register for that. It'll be great to hear directly from our university leadership, what they're doing and how we can kind of plan to move forward and get ready for an exciting fall semester and a really exciting next 4 years for you guys. And EmBark will be the start of that. So thank you again, Sarah. Thanks everybody for coming and joining us. Please stay safe and well, and we will see you guys on campus very soon.
Bye, have a great day.